seriously, you do have an order. I mean it.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Danya Rajeswaran, and I'm the Director, Talent Strategy and Human Capital and Diversity at Accenture India. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to this session of Vaahini Connect. Vaahini, as all of you know, is Accenture's women's network, a pioneering one, I must add, which has about 110,000 plus professional women within India who are part of this group. So what Vaahini really does is it's this empowering network where women can come together, talk about the issues that matter the most to them, hear inspiring stories, share stories, and of course do many, many cool things. And incidentally, we actually took Vaahini digital this year. So there is a Vaahini app which you can download from both your iPhones as well as your Androids, and sign up and gain access to a whole load of resources over there. So that's really what Vaahini is about, and again I must say that we at Accenture are deeply committed to the whole idea of inclusion and diversity, and it's integral to who we are, and we take the widest possible lens. So it goes beyond gender, disabilities, people of all ethnic orientations, all sorts of backgrounds, including sexual orientation, right? And when we think about bringing this whole inclusion to life, I think a huge part of it is the role our leaders play. And when I speak about leaders and when I speak about Vaahini, I think one of the biggest platforms that's available for us is how do we actually bring to you inspiring stories of women in leadership who've made these huge transitions through their life journeys, and how can they actually share those points of view with you, right? Today, as we are looking at a world which is completely changing. Digital is changing everything, new emerging technologies. And a lot of us keep asking this question, how do I transition into this new, right? So we have someone here with us today who's actually going to talk about her journey to cloud. So welcome, Usha, to this show. And, when we think about technology and leadership and leaders, sometimes we think, oh, it's all really too technical, geeky and nerdy, right? But it's actually not so true. So we're actually going to hear from Usha the fun side of her as well.
Yeah.
And when I met you, Usha, I must say this, I was so delighted to know that you're not just this managing director managing this huge business within infrastructure services for us, but you're also a certified Zumba instructor.
Yep. Yes.
You've been Mrs. India Karnataka intellectual.
Yeah.
And the finalist for Mrs. India. Even as I'm saying that, I'm like, wow, technology and, so much accomplishment all together. I'm so delighted that you're here in the studios with us. So why don't I turn this over to you for a second, where you can tell us a little bit more about your background, and we'll get started.
Sure. Thank you so much, Danya. I'm delighted to be here too. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of the Vaahini network, and I'm excited to share my story and to 110,000 women employees of Vaahini family. It's great. It's really wonderful. Little bit about myself. I have overall 25 plus years of experience, and right after my engineering degree, I went to the States. I did my master's there and ended up staying in the States for 16 and a half years. For the last 11 years, I've been working in Bangalore, India. On a personal front, I've been married for 27 and a half years. Have two boys, aged 22 and 16.
Wow.
And my husband is also in IT. And the elder one, he finished his engineering, and now he's doing his master's in computer science. So he's going to be IT family too. And my younger one is in 12th. So he's also leaning towards IT. So I don't know whether it's our influence, myself and my husband's influence, or they're just fascinated by technology. So it's going to be an IT family for us.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Usha, most of our viewers are what we would call as millennials. Yeah. When you reflect back on your career journey, can you tell us what your early career felt like?
Oh, okay. It's very interesting story, I would say. I started my career in the US. Right after graduation, I went there and I was doing a master's. And like any fresher, I had stars in my eyes. And I was totally happy, very excited when I got this internship opportunity. It is not even a full-time employment, just the internship offer from IBM. So I go there, and unlike now, back then there was no formal internship onboarding plan or anything like that. So HR, they took me to this group, and I was put into IBM's business consulting group, which consisted of about 20 to 25 very senior level executives who are sales and marketing professionals. So I just go there, and I was in awe of everything. Big offices and people speaking impeccable English, the presentation style, they're sales and marketing, right? So they have that panache in them. I was like, suddenly I was like, I just didn't know how to, kind of get myself introduced to the team. I was tongue-tied. And there I was, girl from small town, Mysore, early 20s. And I was in awe of everything. I just didn't know what to say. And I was supposed to be this very talkative, outgoing, outspoken, fearless girl back here when I was in India. And there I was with an accent, didn't know what to do. And it was definitely very different from what I had imagined my first day of work would be, my first week of work would be. And then suddenly, I was intimidated by everything. And I went into shell. So I was telling myself, no, this is not Usha. I should do something about it. And then, I went and spoke to the person who was assigned to me as my mentor. And I told him that, I do have this problem. I'm so new in the States. And I have my accent. So what do I do?
So how do I deal with this?
How do I deal
Help
with
me.
it? So he was very motivating. He was saying that, oh, it's fine, so we hired you because you're good. I was like, okay, good. So, and then, so it's like, yeah, that's right. I was selected from so many different number of people who had applied, and yeah, I must be really good. So I knew I was good technically, but I really didn't know how to adjust myself to this group. I kind of, I had this craving saying that when am I going to become like them, with your pinstripe suits and commanding respect from everybody around you and passionately talking about your vision and the roadmap and things like that. So when I got the first opportunity, midterm review, 6 weeks after internship program, it's literally what I did was, it's like, it's 2 screens that I developed. It's called like we were porting the screen from mainframe to the PCs. I rehearsed all night, all week. So how am I going to do that? It was supposed to be for 5 minutes demo, but I had this story that how I'm going to present myself for the whole dancing and song and singing routine. And when I did this, everybody appreciated. They were like, wow, you've done a great job. And they were like, sure, you presented really well. You kind of, put this interesting part of the how to do this PC emulation. Then I got my confidence back. So, my advice is never lose your confidence. It happens. Everything will be different when you're starting. That's why they call it as, first time experience.
I totally agree. And the power of preparation and the
power of
confidence
preparations
that you get from
and the
that,
confidence
right?
you get from that.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yes.
So how did you transition to cloud? I mean, you've been associated with cloud at least for the last 8-9 years. So how did you transition to cloud?
My first job was as a developer, and then after a couple of years, so I wanted to branch out into a consulting role. So I did data modeling, a lot of customer implementation, and I started enjoying doing this customer implementation role. And since then, I've been in the infrastructure services. For the last 15, 16 years, I've been in the infrastructure services in one or the other leadership role, be it the service delivery management or program management. So as delivery leads, we always have to look out for achieving business outcome for our customers. So when this cloud started, we all know why the cloud, right? It's like highly reliable, efficient, agile, and cost savings, more than anything cost savings. In a nutshell, we can innovate faster and cheaper in cloud. So as part of that, we were supporting the legacy infrastructure for one of my clients 8-9 years back. So it's like that was a trend back then. Everybody were moving into cloud. That was how it was started. But later on, once we started realizing the benefits of the cloud, then I had to, upskill myself in terms of the upcoming technologies. What exactly is this cloud? So I would refer to some articles, just read upon some journals. More than anything, I have no qualms about talking to my team members. Doesn't matter how senior or how junior the person is, just go talk to them, come explain me what this mean. So that's how, my journey started to the cloud. And today, everybody is in cloud. It's just not big enterprises. Everybody is in cloud. So partly due to, increased connectivity that we have and the mobile applications and social media. So everybody's into the cloud, even the small vegetable vendor. So they understand what cloud is. So everybody has to get in there. Yeah.
So everybody's journeying to the cloud.
Everybody's journeying into the cloud. Already there.
Yeah, totally. So, when somebody's considering a career in cloud and emerging technologies, what are some of the options that are available for them?
Oh, there are plenty. There are plenty of options available. With the adoption of cloud, which is increasing day by day, hour by hour, there are plenty of opportunities. See, earlier, especially in the infrastructure space, right, you are a systems engineer or a network engineer or a storage engineer. Now, you have to be infrastructure engineer overall. It is not like you can't just do away with I'm a storage engineer, I'm an expert in the storage. You have to learn the network part of it. You have to learn the systems part of it. That is one, overall infrastructure engineer. And even though the cloud is all converging, I would say that some roles are diverged.
Okay.
That is because of the niche skill set and the specific roles that we have in cloud today. For example, site reliability engineer. That's a new buzzword everybody is talking about. Site reliability engineer, site recovery manager, and the DevOps. So a lot of different options are there. If you have flair for coding, if you are passionate about coding, there are plenty of opportunities in cloud, right? Because you need to come up with this portal. You need to come up with software as a service, right? There are so many software as a service. All the product companies are moving into software as a service model. So there's plenty of opportunity for you to do the agile development. That's one area. And the other area is if you are functional, if you are analytical in nature. So cloud is all about this big data, huge amount of storage. So you need to have a proper analytics in place. So for you to get the benefits of the cloud to full extent, you need to have proper analytics in place. So you need to design the workflows. So that's how you can achieve more business outcomes. And in the automation, everything is about automation these days, right? So that's what we keep saying in Accenture. If it is measurable, repeatable, and transaction in nature, automate it. So you should not be doing that mundane work. So you should automate that. So for automation development, for this tools development, you need to be developer background. So these are the various different options. Like I said, one side, it's like overall infrastructure, and the other side, some roles have diverged, and it's like specific to that particular area.
I think that's fascinating. So those of you who are watching, please send in your queries. We will start taking questions in probably another few minutes. But Usha, coming back.
Okay.
You are a huge advocate of bringing your whole self to work, right? And, what I can see of you, I think you actually embody it and live it. So talk to us about, bringing your whole self.
Bringing my whole self to work, that subject is very, very close to my heart, Danya. And you should not be just bringing your whole self to just work. You should be at your best all the time, right? That's what life is all about. That's what life is all about.
Be the best all the time.
Be the best all the time. Life is too short. You be the best all the time. And one thing that worked for me, and I started doing this without realizing, how it's going to span out, but I just started doing this. Integrate your family and professional lives. Definitely, if you integrate your family and professional lives, you can bring your whole self to work. Let me just quote some examples, right? It's a reality today. So we spend about minimum 12 hours, 12 to 14, 15 hours at work, be it commuting to work or just 9 hours of work or escalation point. So you might as well make best use of the 12 to 14 hours of work. So you emotionally connect with your colleagues. It is just not about my work, I come, I finish, and I'll go. You emotionally connect with your colleagues. You share your stories. It's up to you. If you want to share everything, it's up to you. If you want to share some part of your life, you share with your colleagues. In that way, that emotional bond between your colleagues will increase. And that would also bring in that sense of belonging, sense of purpose. On the home front, because this 14 hours that we are outside home, whatever little time you get, hardly you get about 45 minutes to 1 hour with your family. So make that a quality time, especially with your children, with your kids, when they're younger, right? That 45 minutes, the dinner time conversation, let that not be just about their grades. Let that not be just about the homework, whether your kid completed the homework or not. Just try to, kind of make the conversation more livelier. How do we do this, right? When I started, we were still in the US then. That's why, I used to come and share everything with my kids, what happened at work. But you got to share in a sense that they can relate to it and they should also feel proud of it. I have to quote this incident. I was working in DHL and we were developing this supply chain tool for Microsoft. Microsoft was one of the first customers who went on this tool, and we were shipping the Xbox and Xbox parts from Asia to Europe and the US. And so I used to come home and say that this is what we are doing, and for the next 1 week, 2 weeks, I'll be very, very busy because this is Thanksgiving time has started, and all the retail stores have to stock up the Xbox, and we have to ensure that system is available. So I was saying all this. By nature, I like to connect with everybody I speak to, and this is how I was telling my kids. And the next week, when I went to parents-teachers meeting, the teacher asked me, Usha, what do you exactly do? Because your son, he told all kids in the class in the circle time today that, my mom decides whether you're going to get your Xbox as your Christmas gift or not. So he was thinking that I am this Microsoft head. He was
but it's amazing.
It is.
The ability for you to connect your work in a manner that your children are actually able to understand the criticality of what you do, and I'm actually seeing the pictures on the screen. So that's your family, isn't it?
Yes, that's my family, my boys. That was taken about a year and a half back. That was in Alaska. And some of the other pictures you see is, you introduced me as Mrs. India Karnataka. That's me. And this is my newly found passion, which is fashion shows and ramp walk.
Yeah, I can't imagine how stunning you must be looking as a showstopper. Aren't you the celebrity showstopper for some shows?
I was very recently, as recent as 2 days back, for the Vijay Karnataka Women's Day celebration. So I was. So that's like I said, newly found passion. This happened about 3 months back. And since then, I started doing this. So,
excellent.
Yeah, and I enjoyed my moment of shine too, because, I was on the front page of Deccan Chronicle.
How nice.
So that's again, my teachable point of view for everybody. Follow your passion. Have fun. Definitely, you should have fun. And I really, kind of love the truly human philosophy that we advocate in Accenture. And it's all about energizing your body, mind, soul, and heart. So engage yourself in some activity which is outside of your routine work. Like I said, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, you're working. That one day you energize yourself and engage yourself with some kind of physical activity, aerobics, Zumba. There's so many options available, right? For your mind, again, just have a good time. Just have a good time on your day off. Just have a good time with your family and the friends, or whatever makes you happy. Meditate. If you're not a meditation person, it's okay. Just have some quiet time to yourself, me time, watching TV, or just thinking about yourself, right? And again, that's what is truly a human is all about. And I consciously practice that. And even in the teams that we have here, we are very intentional about having fun and delivering business outcomes for our customers. So recently in one of the teams that I manage, so we had this neurobics, which is 5 senses activities related to your 5 senses. It's a team building activity, and it was not just a team building. We made that as a championship. So like all the team members, they were literally fighting for the champion. And if I can say so, I was part of the winning team.
Wow! So Check out the competitive spirit coming out there.
Yes,
lovely.
So this is how intentional you should be about having fun.
I'm actually recollecting an incident that probably happened maybe a year ago.
Okay.
When we were doing the flash mobs. For celebrating inclusion in the workplace, and you were actually there with your team doing this flash mob gig, right? I was actually completely inspired, because I think we need our leaders, and especially our women leaders, to not just be great at what they do, but also have so much fun while doing that. And I think you embody that.
Oh yeah, like I said, I enjoy this. I definitely enjoy our neurobics activities and the people agenda that we have here. I'm a proud Accenturian.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, I'm ready to take some questions, and if I can start having some of those questions, it will be great.
Okay.
So keep your questions coming in, my dear friends who are watching the show. Okay, there it is. So the first question for you is, are there any specific courses to consider if we want to make a career in cloud?
Yes, there are plenty of courses that you could do. You could go with the public cloud provider courses, be it Microsoft or Amazon. And again, it depends on what career track you want to go into, right? If you want to get into the administration, there are courses available. If you want to be DevOps, developer, agile development, there are certain courses for it. So there are many courses available. And here in Accenture, there are plenty of courses available too.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so how about the associated data security? So would you say that how secure is private or public cloud?
It is evolving. Like you said, when it all started 10 years back, nobody were interested in putting their production workloads in the cloud. It was all development and the test bed. But over the years, the security has increased so much, we have it. There are various options available. You can do container as a service, which is highly secured environment. So you just imagine you can spin up a VM, you can spin up any OS, any system, and stack it up in minutes. So that's the advantage of cloud, right? So the security, it's evolving, it's constantly evolving, it's a cybersecurity, so many things, but we are in a much better place. And many of the organizations, they don't want to go to just one cloud provider all the time, right? So it's a combination of hybrid cloud solutions. So if you have a lot of Microsoft applications, then you go with Azure, and you can also have your APIs into Amazon. So it's a security, I would say that still, it is evolving, but most of the enterprises, they have the production workloads in the cloud environment today.
Yeah.
And I need to mention this. In Accenture, so in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, so we are rated as overall leaders.
Wow.
As public cloud infrastructure managed service providers.
Awesome.
We are, and our competition is far behind us, far behind us.
So clearly you're not only in the cutting edge of it, but you're in the company that is at the cutting edge of it.
It is, isn't it?
Amazing. Usha, when you spoke about your early career, you gave the message about being confident.
Yes.
Right? And believing in who you are. Other than that, what are the characteristics that you believe somebody should display when they are new on the job?
So just not when you are new in your job, but you should follow these principles all along, right? The one is, I call that as customer inside out. So that's like, know what your role is, how critical your role is. Get to know your customer, get to know their business, get to know their end customers. Always put yourself in the customer shoes. That's what I call it as customer inside out. Let me just give you an example, right? So you are making your travel plans and you're on the phone call with some agent making reservations for some hotel. If the agent puts you on hold for over 20 minutes and at the end, if that person doesn't give you the option that you are hoping to get, would you go to the same hotel chain again? No, you wouldn't. You would switch because now the availability is so much. So you would just switch in minutes. I would just dial up some other hotel chain, right? So that's why you should always look from a customer angle. So in that way, you know that where you are and put yourself in their shoes. That's one. And the other one is feel good about the criticality of your role. There is no such role as I'm just a fresher, I'm a newbie, I'm not contributing to the bigger picture. No, each and everybody contributes to the bigger picture. Just think about it, especially in the infrastructure area, right? One of the teams that I'm supporting, they're Australian major telco. So you are touching 70% of Australians' life day to day. Just feel good about it. It's very big. The other customer that I support is an insurer, and 100,000 plus end customers they have. Just imagine, like the business impact of your role is. So if they're trying to get a claim and if the systems are not available, you are literally touching the lives of so many people. So that's one. And the other one is recovery paradox, right? Even if you screw up, even if you make a huge mistake, don't try to hide it. Be honest and open in your communication all the time. So if you mess up something, if you say that I did this, it was unintentional, but I know how to fix this, in the end, you will get appreciation rather than saying that why did you do this? These, I would say, are the two things that you should do other than the confidence.
I think that's very, very well said. Because the sooner we share up front, the good and the bad, the more easier it gets for us to resolve it, right?
So that's a classic recovery paradox, right? It's
that's
like
beautifully said. Okay, so despite all your responsibilities and being available especially in your line of work, you would be the highest point of escalation when it comes to many things, and therefore the demands on your time. How do you actually get the time to upskill yourself?
Talking to the team members. Personally, I talk to the team members. I talk to my team all the time. Like I said, if I don't understand some technology, I'll just go to the team members. So everybody knows that, I used to be coder, I used to be technology geek in my previous life, but not anymore. So I just talk to the team, talk to your people, so then you would know. Talk to your customer, more than anything, talk to your customer. You could do that.
Yeah, I think that's actually rightly said, because the landscape is evolving so much that unless you're constantly in touch with what's going on, there's really no way you're going to upskill yourself, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, and, when, this is an interesting question, how to transition to a new skill when you have no experience? So, we talk about the wise pivot, so pivoting to the new, right? So, which is about, I might have been a systems administrator all my life, but now I'm actually going to want to do something else.
Right.
So, how do I pivot knowing that I don't have experience in the new? So, how does one do that?
So, it's all about your intentions, right? So, it's your passion, it's your intentions, and your attitude. So you want to pivot to the new. There are various levers available for you to pivot to the new. Be it the training, be it the sessions that we conduct in Accenture and outside also, right? Just attend those workshops, attend the networking dinners, attend the networking events, right? So you should have the intention. There is no such thing as you can't learn this. It's all in your head. So you have to have basics. Obviously, without the basics, you won't be able to do. If your basics are right and if you have right intentions, you have to do the hard work. There is no substitution for that. You are working already, but if you want to upskill, if you want to switch to a different domain, put above and over efforts every single day. I'm sure there are various ways for you to do that, be it the training.
I agree, and I think you mentioned some very nice things. You said, learn new things.
Yep.
Hard work. Confidence, and you also said network. And when somebody's wanting to pivot to the new, I have always realized that it's easiest when they have a sound network to tap into.
It is.
Right? Because then the network actually trusts you to have the expertise even though you don't have the experience.
Yes.
Right? And it's probably one thing that we can all do more of if you think of it, right? I mean, do we actually take the time out to go and make new connections, new friends?
Yeah.
And how does that network help us professionally? I think that's it's a brilliant point you alluded to. Okay, so we probably have time for one or two more questions at most.
Okay.
So let me ask you this: what are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I'm just proud of myself here. Everything,
Your journey.
I'm just so proud of my team. I'm just so proud of my boys. I'm so proud of, me venturing out into different areas at this age. I'll be 50 soon. And I'm just so proud of everything. It's just like, like I said in the beginning, life is too short. You should enjoy it.
Life is too short and you should enjoy it. And I'm actually going to close this section with this last question. So what's the source of your passion? How are you so passionate about everything, and including the fact that you ventured out to take so many risks?
Oh, it is just the person I am. It's like I said, enjoy everything that you do. Be it, like I said, working 15 hours a day, whatever, just enjoy whatever you do. By doing this, you will not let stress get the better part of you. So that's how you should be passionate about everything. If you don't enjoy, then it's no fun.
It's just seize the moment,
live the moment. Day. Exactly. Just celebrate yourself. Celebrate being you.
That is a brilliant closing note. So thank you very much. I think it has been absolutely fantastic having you. And like I said, technology, fashion, fun, all bundled into one person. Thank you very, very much, Usha.
Thank you so much, Danya. I thoroughly enjoyed my session with you and the questions. So if there are any further questions, we're going to take it offline.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.